chest.
I assume this was
Momentarily.
Jesse. Do you want to switch?
That is pretty far away. Can you hear it, Meredith?
My phone service is not. I'm right now trying to load the YouTube stream because I'm like.
Oh, I was gonna say because we're pretty far apart.
Yeah.
Do they have a conference?
Can you say some words,
Yeah,
please,
we're
Jen?
over here. At least on the door.
Can you hear us over here? How loud do we have to be for them to hear us?
It's a little tinny.
Where's the mic?
You need to enunciate.
Well, Jesse's a bit louder. He'll be right there. If I guess
I'm gonna mute it. Unmuted. We're live.
Good?
We're good.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Certainly thanks for being here and thanks for the adjustment in the venue. Not traditional, but we'll definitely make it work. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Just a couple proposals we want to pass first. This is the bus operator sign-on, no change from last year.
Okay.
And these are all you, Jeff.
I will get them all signed.
Thank you.
If you don't mind, I'll just sign.
Yeah, we
them.
need more. Yeah, that's fine. The next one for us is sources of strength, and that's no change on that one from last year.
There's,
We adjusted the date on that.
Date, Justin?
those ones don't have the adjusted date. We have a couple to sign that do
Oh,
have the
Okay,
adjusted date.
yeah, let's give them that one. That second paragraph had a 25, 26.
Got it.
Just
Yep.
the first
Okay. And the next one is PLC advisory. No changes. Thank you. Okay. And Jesse, you said you had a pass. You want to do that
It
now?
turns
or-
out I was wrong. We do not.
Okay. So the next thing on one of our counters is working conditions. Thank you, Parker.
Condition.
I just want to run through a few things on that, because I am going to have a pass with that as well. So, a couple things. If you look at page 3, you'll see we did some strike throughs on number 1, and really a few things on that. Again, we talked a little bit about this last year, but we support that. That certainly is taking place, and we had some concerns also with regards to the 27-28 forward style planning. I think we set a precedent last year when we all left the table. We were going to try and avoid that with regards, and we're looking at full book for the upcoming year as well. So, so that's the strike through there. If you go to the next page, with regards to number 5, we really believe that is being addressed in the schools. The administrators are paying attention with regards to additional time for our on case by case with the individuals involved in this. The strike through on the bottom is really is really a twofold piece. We certainly understand the the attention needs to be paid for the unfilled assignments, but we do want to continue to track 1 through 7 is the exact MOU.
All right, you pulled 1 through 7 out of what we passed
Right,
for.
and
put
it's
it
in the MOU.
Yeah.
Continue. So CC bottom, again, this is something we discussed last year with regards to, class placement, master scheduling components, issues regarding individual needs of students, attention to class size components. We certainly believe that distribution is being taken into consideration with our administrators, and it's really not something that we want to see put in with regards to that. We think there is an equitable distribution going on. Again, so we did strike through that.
Questions? You have questions?
No, sir.
I'm gonna hit you with 150 minutes. I mean, we have asked. I'm just gonna point something out.
Okay, good. No.
We've asked for quite a few
Right.
years in a row. Of course, we're always asking for more planning time, right? But
Right.
we really narrowed it down to the specific people who absolutely desperately need to have more planning time. And those elementary teachers are the people who we believe through, working with I would love to see some movement in there, even if it was a small amount at some point during this process, because we always say people in elementary school got 7 preps, right? They're all day long.
Sure.
Now, when it comes to the case manager things and IEP work, and also with CC, I know that you all have stated you believe that we have an appropriate amount of time and an appropriate amount of class and student distribution. But when we talk to teachers don't believe that. We have done at this point, I think, 2 different times when we've asked the teachers if they think those things are fair, and they do not agree. So if you got the math that says it's real good, you might want to start sharing that with teachers, because from their point of view down there on the front lines, we feel, it's still very common to have a teacher. I think even teachers in this room right now currently will have a classroom where their classroom has 10 IEPs. The classroom next door got 2 IEPs, and that seems unfairly distributed for being the same class. And that can be a pretty common occurrence. If I notice it, it's probably pretty common because I'm not that attentive. So if I look out and say, "Oh, that seems like a thing,"
Jesse, let me ask you just a practical
Go
question
ahead.
on that. Just playing that out meant that there would be an equitable distribution of IEP
right?
and gen ed students. If a team implemented correctly, there'd be a right to grieve it.
Right.
Right. So the outcome of the grievance would potentially be move students out of my class to another class, potentially disrupting those IEP students.
Yes. But that should be solved. Ideally, we would have systems in place that make that a minimum occurrence where that stuff is solved beforehand. People are kind of equity. If you look at it and you say, I'm giving that person 5 and that person 5, and even when it comes down to you saying these 5 IEP students, but maybe these 5 students do not, I'm not going to lie. It's a lot of work, especially on y'all's end, because do work on their own. There's a lot of kids out of their IEPs that don't get a second partner in the room that help them out. You're not getting a push in or something like that.
And when you reference a long list of things, you're referencing accommodations embedded
Right.
in, social emotional goals, BIPs, FBAs, all the pieces embedded in that.
Correct. And if you have very specific students, say you get 5 kids, 5 IEPs here, 5 IEPs here, it could be even. But if all 5 of these IEPs have to have every question read to them, and these 5 IEPs don't, then all of a sudden this teacher's, working 5 times as hard for each one of those students than this one. So there's a lot of situation. I'd love to actually make this more specific and put numbers along the lines of a little more broad, so that every single year there's more accommodations, more behavior issues almost every single year, it feels like. And that can be really stressful when it's not adequately distributed amongst them. Also, it comes down to class, sometimes sizes, sometimes it comes down to class makeups. We all know there's
language that guarantees a balancing of classes or equability of classes is not groundbreaking or earth-shattering or new. Like your neighbors have language like, right?
It comes down to I can give a very specific example. We drafted a differential pay last year where we were going to hand out a couple of bucks to a teacher if their kid had a gain or passed the FSA, stuff like that. But it turned out something we didn't account for was the fact that a lot of times schools group kids who are about to pass all in one class, and then group kids who have, let's say, a less chance to pass in a whole other class, and then assign teachers based on that, maybe based on teacher preference. But now you have one person, they're teaching the same class, but this person's going to hit that benchmark far more often than this teacher is going to hit that benchmark. This teacher is going to make a little bit of money, this teacher is not. And I was like, oh, okay, I see how those are distributed now. A lot of that could be taken into consideration with this wordage. Terry, you look like yes.
And yeah, it was a quick follow-up just about Bethany's question. When you say neighbors have done it, where's a good?
Sure, Duval County.
Okay.
Duval County.
I was just going to see where have you seen that implemented?
Yeah, on a much bigger scale and more depth than we're asking for here, right? Like you'll see situations. I can cite a couple this year where a teacher is good at what they do, and then they get all the behavior students, and then you burn that teacher out, right? Like it's kind of the better you do sometimes, the worse situation you end up in. And I can see looking across the table that folks here know what I'm talking about, right? That we just need some equitability, right?
In regards to the transfer agreement.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I think we're in agreement that we
like to see some adjustments to this. I think we're in agreement that we also would like to see that application stay open. Like if we want to accurately do number 4, which is interview the appropriate 15th, and think I can get picked up on June 15th, via that posting. So just a little processing time there. I believe that's what our system will allow. Other than that, I feel like this process is working really well. We've had minimal errors. We've worked with employees to release them with the principal approval. So we'd like to see some consistency in this process because it is confusing to employees. So some consistency, I think, would be helpful. We did go back to hiring authorities versus principal because involuntary transfer, we did change due to changes in enrollment only because there are at times cases where there are other reasons why we might need to involuntary transfer someone. 3 on the next page. We're in agreement there. I believe that's exact language from the other portion of the article. Makes sense to go here. Same down there in B. We just referenced this part of the article again, so it's just right back there. So it should hopefully be the intent, what you guys were hoping for there. And then on the last page, we did add some language. Typically, we do an MOU every time we open a new school, but we'd like to just go ahead and add this. We think this is an appropriate place here, so that optional planning day for instructors would be there, and they'd get paid for that. Then E, we did strike through E. While we certainly appreciate our building reps in each building, we don't feel that they should be exempt from other portions of the contract. So,
Okay.
Any questions?
Hey, give me just one second. I do want to say in regards to E at the bottom that was crossed out there, I had a building representative just in the last few days tell me they did not want to be a building representative any school might do to them. So that I want you to know that feeling exists. That feeling that representative. I can't tell you the amount of times that job takes a little load off administration because I can answer a question. Sometimes I can sit someone down and explain something. It's sometimes I think you guys should pay me to do it with the amount of times I got to sit down and tell somebody how something works. But that feeling does exist and it is real. Does anybody on this side have other questions on the transfer section?
I just do want to also speak to this proportion. I think St. Johns County, who would agree that building reps can help, right? They can
Absolutely.
help resolve problems. Good, but that is not true universally. We have schools in St. Johns County where building reps are targeted, where people have no interest in, or they have interest in doing the work, but they don't want to have to serve that role at their school because of the fear that they have for something like the consequences in this language to happen. So I really do think there needs to be some consideration. There needs to be some kind of conversation about the role of building reps in our schools and the importance of them in your school climate and culture.
And one last little question. 4 on the front, that bolded text is just reinserting the original text there? Is that?
I believe so. I'll have to double check.
Okay.
It should probably
All
be
right.
black.
We'll
Would be my
probably look
assumption.
over. All right. Good on that.
Okay, so the next one is our paid parental leave. We think this is great. We do want to continue the MOU though, before we take any next steps with regards to looking ahead towards 27, 28. We'd like to keep it in play with the 5 days. We want some trend, typically, our MOUs run 2 to 3 years. We want some trend data on costs, including sub-coverages and all those pieces. But anticipate this will be a conversation again in the future. The last one. So really, we did a strike through on this, but we added in the word or budgeted. We do need, this is on the Gaines and Hamlin piece, I'm sorry. the need for clarity. We know we have employees that are there all year. So we added in the word, we removed the curricular coaches, service providers. We added in assigned or budget or ESE departments, run a roster through a memorandum to provide. So we're making sure that we're accurately identifying the individuals that are there. And so we do want to see this continue with that piece really. And I think that's really what our discussion was before regarding, we have some individuals there, but we're identifying that other cost centers, and it's creating the lack of clarity on that.
Okay. Just so I'm clear,
Okay.
for the old layman over here, if we found somebody who was not getting it because we checked on the budget, they would now get this MOU.
So like an SLP is
Yes.
costed to ESE,
Right.
but they're assigned to Hamlin 4 days a week.
Right.
We would
We would-
memo at the start of the year to say they're eligible
Right.
for this
Okay.
because they're there
Cool.
4 days
All
a
right.
week.
I mean, we're exactly where you're at. We
Yes.
want to capture everybody that should be getting this.
All right.
But I think it's going to take the work of us on our end to make sure our departments that have people that are identified there 2, 3, 4, 5 days a week, the case, just because they're costed to a 9616, ESE, or whatever the case might be, they need to be receiving this if they're there the whole time.
Okay.
All right. And that's really it on our end. And you said, Jesse, you
We
do
do
not have?
No.
Okay. You need some time?
Oh, yes. Let's talk this up for a little while. We got to read a little bit.
All right.
Before, are we gonna talk about TSA?
Our plan, Bethany, is to come in and talk of compensation on July 7th. That's what we would like to do.
Do we even want to talk about the parameters of the, because we don't have any data yet. So it's, like, we don't have any numbers to, I mean, I have the numbers for how much money we can expect the state,
Yeah,
but we don't have numbers from the district. There's also some ambiguity in the law.
yeah, the 10 plus.
I mean,
Yeah.
So we just finished the project yesterday of
Mhm.
parsing out years of service. So the girls took 2 weeks and did it. So we just finished that yesterday. So I just want to review those numbers and then I should be able to get them to you. But then to your point, I'd also like to provide job titles and things like that with, I think that may come
and those are
into
the years
play
of
here.
service for Florida.
You'll see it's total years of service and then it'll have each, what that,
Right.
culminates to.
And we're navigating, just saying, Bethany, and I appreciate you saying that, we're navigating the ambiguity. It is really, if you talk, and I'm sure you do, district to district across the state, there is,
Mhm.
we could throw that law out in front of 7 different districts and might get 4 different responses.
Right.
And so our goal, the reason, again, this certainly isn't something we want to delay, and I said at last meeting, it's important for us to keep our foot on the gas and keep moving through this, recognizing the time constraints, but we want to get it 100% accurate and correct. So it's kind of a one shot. We understand that this is our interpretation. We're in agreement with this because there is different
Yeah.
interpretations of that statewide,
Oh, absolutely.
like
I'm aware.
significant different
Yeah.
interpretations. So,
I'm aware.
and I feel post June 30th, we'll be in a better spot with that.
Correct, because Bethany will also have the certification from the property appraiser
Yeah.
on July 1. That's their statutory requirement to let me know what the property
Right.
estimate of the property, and so that will also help.
All right.
Be 45 minutes maybe?
Yeah. Thank you.